Hi, I'm Belle. Well, I'm back with Tim McKibben from the Real Estate Institute of New South Wales. Hi, Tim.
Hi, Belle. Nice to be back.
Nice to see you again. Now, today we are talking about levies.
Levies.
Levies. So what are levies?
Money.
Money.
The short story is money.
Okay.
And not surprisingly, a strata needs money to take care of the maintenance. You think about it, if it was your own private home and you were in complete control of it, during the course of a year you'd have to spend some money on keeping your property in some sort of order. So when you come together in a collective in a strata, you still have those same sort of problems. You've still got to take care of the maintenance and pay people to come in and solve problems and fix things for you.
Thanks, Tim. So where does the Owners Corporation get their funds from?
From all the owners, and normally they'll impose those levies quarterly,
right?
And the calculation is done in conjunction with the broader community of the strata, and then they send out the levies on a quarterly basis.
Right. So what kinds of levies are there?
There's an administrative levy, and that's the one that money is collected for the day-to-day things.
Yep.
So I guess getting the lawns mowed and the general maintenance of the property.
The stuff that you have every week, every month.
Yeah, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then the other one is the sinking fund levies. Now that's where we make provision for things that we can identify will need some sort of maintenance, and it's likely to be expensive. So we put a little bit of money aside each year.
Okay.
And so it's something we're going to have to address in X number of years' time, rather than having to, I guess, pay for it all out in 1 year. We'll set some money aside. We've been a little bit clever about it.
It's a great idea.
Yeah, making provision for something we can identify will require some time in the future. Okay. And the last one is the special levies, and that's for something that just comes out of the blue and says, yeah, exactly.
Okay, so the special levies is the one with the highlighter pen.
That's the one. So we are going to have to pay for this, and we didn't see it coming.
Okay, so as an owner, am I obliged to pay levies?
Yes, you are. It's a short answer.
Okay.
And I guess the reality of it is, if you don't pay it within a month...
that was my next question. What happens if I don't pay the levies?
Well, if you don't pay it, you can be charged interest.
Really?
Yeah, most certainly. You'll be charged interest, because at the end of the day, when you think about it, if the other lot owners have put their money into the bank account and they're assisting with the payment of it, and you're hanging on to your cash, then you're earning interest in it in the bank. So I guess to encourage you to contribute, there is a penalty by way of interest for not paying on time.
So it's better to pay your levies?
Most certainly.
Okay, thanks.
And it's a good tip. And then in addition to that, if you still don't pay it, even though that you're being subject to the interest payment, if you still don't pay it, there's debt recovery processes available to the strata committee to go and recover that money from you, and I guess you'd be subject to those costs as well. So your earlier identification, pay your levies on time.
Pay your levies on time, it's much better. So how often do you have to pay levies? Normally
quarterly. The Strata Committee will impose levies on a quarterly basis. But I guess interestingly, in relation to the calculation of the strata levies, that they determine a budget. So you look forward at the sort of money that you're going to need, and then work backwards from that. And it's the Owners Corporation that makes that determination, sort of putting those budgets together.
Right. So is that how the levy amounts decided?
Yeah. So they work backwards from the figure that's through their budgeting process to determine how much it's going to need, and then from that they go to the levy process and go out to each of the owners and require them to contribute towards it. But importantly, the Owners Corporation votes on that. So you need sufficient support to actually get the budget, and from there will come the levies to get that over the line at your meeting.
What about if someone has a 1-bedroom unit, someone else has a 2-bedroom unit or a 3-bedroom unit? Do you have to pay the same amount of money?
That's an excellent question. Normally, with an example you've given, so the bigger the property you occupy within the total strata, not surprisingly, and it's equitable to do so, that you would have to make a greater contribution. So if your property's bigger, that means you occupy more, and theoretically, at least, you enjoy a bigger part of the
Makes
thing.
sense.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So you would proportionally pay a bit more of those levies.
Okay. Now, you did mention before those special levies.
Yeah. Now
can you tell us a little bit more about those?
Yeah, well, they're the ones you never want to see. I mean, there's a planning process. So I suppose with the administrative levy, we talked about that earlier, about having some money there to do that stuff that we can see happening on a day-to-day basis. Then there's the sinking fund, and we plan for the future. But the special levies are the ones where something comes out of the blue.
The roof's caved in. Hopefully not.
And in Sydney, unfortunately, we do see a bit of concrete cancer, these sorts of things.
I have heard concrete cancer is a little bit of a problem.
And expensive. So when when these sorts of things occur, and we haven't planned them, we didn't see them coming, but they must be fixed, people get, there's a special levy which will be imposed on the owners, and they'll have to respond to that so that those repairs can be made. So never want to see them.
No. Okay, well, lovely to see you again, Tim. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Bill.
Levies are a critical part of strata living and ensure that your property is protected. Now, without levies, a strata scheme simply could not survive. Every strata scheme imposes regular levies. Now, these monies are collected quarterly. The money is deposited into a strata scheme bank account, and then these funds are used for the running and maintenance of a strata scheme. There are three types of strata levies: levies to cover the day-to-day running expenses or administrative fund levies, levies for long-term repairs and maintenance, these are called sinking fund levies, and special levies for those unexpected expenses where no funds are allocated. Without levy payments, a strata scheme would not be able to pay for the running costs of the building, and the building would slowly deteriorate, resulting in a drop in market value of every property within the scheme. In the same way that you pay to regularly service your car to ensure that it keeps running, paying levies ensures that a strata scheme can pay for the maintenance and the upkeep to keep it in shipshape. For more information about strata schemes, you can visit the Real Estate Institute of New South Wales at reinsw.com.au or New South Wales Fair Trading at fairtrading.nsw.gov.au.